Welcome to Bino's Garage. I've gone and done it. I've bought myself a Salvage motorbike. I've been a big fan of the new CBR650R since I saw it in a showroom, and I've had my eye on one. Haven't really wanted to part with about £8 to buy a new one, so I joined Copart recently to looking at cars actually, but then I thought, I wonder if any bikes are coming up, and actually a fairly good condition CBR650R with very low mileage came up and with very minimal damage, so I thought, let's have a look at that. So in the video that you're about to see, you'll see me bidding on the bike, you'll see me taking delivery of the bike, and we may stop it there for today, but I'm going to be doing loads of videos about how we're getting this back on the road and basically getting me a CBR650R for a lot less than about £7.5 to £8 retail. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Thank you.
Okay guys, so I just wanted to show you some photographs that were on the Copart website, and these are the pictures that I had available to me to kind of select the bike and determine what damage there was to the bike. So this first one is a side profile of the bike, left hand side of the bike, and from this kind of distance you can't really see any damage. There isn't actually any damage to the left hand side of the bike, it's fallen onto the right hand side, so I wouldn't expect to see any damage here, but you can blow these photographs up into high definition, and I do that a bit for the next few shots. So let's move on to the next shot. So this is the right hand side of the bike, again taken from a bit of a distance, so again you can't really see a lot on this shot, so let's move on. So this is an image of the front of the bike. At least from this image you can kind of see that everything's there, everything's intact, the headlamps aren't smashed, the screen isn't smashed, the fenders at the front there seem okay, everything looks straight as far as you can see from that picture, which is a good sign. Picture here from the back of the bike, no damage can you really be seen here, everything looks pretty straight. Huge massive tail tidy on there, so that's one of the first things that's got to be changed. So here's one of the first close-up shots using the HD button on the Copart website. A bit of a zoom in here on the kind of the screen and cockpit area, and interestingly I picked up straight away that this had a quad lock mount on it, which is good to see, and you can see that it's got a genuine key there in the ignition as well. Everything looks pretty good. Handlebars on at least the left hand handlebar and clutch lever looks okay. Screen again looks okay, and the tank looks okay from this side as well. Close-up shot here of the left-hand side of the bike and the engine casing and the engine there. No damage can be seen on this side, so that was a really good shot there to be able to determine if there was any damage down this side of the bike, which there isn't. Mirror shot here looking at the right hand side of the bike, and this is where we start to see some damage. You can see the engine casing there has been scraped, and you can also see in the top right hand corner there the fairing is scuffed, so that would have to be taken care of. You can see on the bottom left hand side on the foot peg that is the little kind of stirrup thing that comes out the bottom of the foot peg, that's bent, and that's the real damage that you can see on this side from this kind of distance. Close-up shot now of the instrument cluster. One of the interesting things is there that you can see that it's got sub 200 miles on it, which is interesting. We'll come back to that point later on in the video. It's got a screen protector on it, you can see there, not stuck on particularly well, but everything seems to be working, and bike's in neutral obviously, nothing too much to worry about there, but very low mileage, which looks really promising. Close up here of kind of the upper right hand fairing and the indicator. You can see here where it's taken a bash on the indicator, so I knew about that before placing any bids, but I mean, not too much damage there, and you can see it hasn't bent back enough to damage the fairing at that point either. Front wheel at the top there looks okay, forks look okay as well. Much better shot here of the damage to the engine casing. You can also see that the fairing below the engine casing is damaged, and the fairing to the right of the engine casing, which is the main fairing for the bike, is also scraped there at the bottom. But as you'll remember from a previous photo, it's also scraped up at the top as well. So that fairing I fully expected to have to either repair or replace. Final shot here is of the right hand bar end, and showing the damage to that. Pretty easy to sort that out. One of the key things that I missed at this point, stupidly really, is that you'll notice one thing there. There's no brake lever, or at least there's the snapped end off a brake lever. I completely didn't spot that until I took the bike and got it in my possession. The other thing I did notice was that if you look at the tank, you can see that there is a dent in the side of the tank there. And I think it's probably one of the main reasons this bike was written off, because a new tank direct from Honda is about £1,200 plus fitting. So that's probably why this bike was written off, because that's quite a meaty price to be paying for a tank. Okay, so after studying all those photographs long and hard, zooming in on them for days on end, I kind of set myself a budget and thought, right, I'm gonna have a good go at getting this bike. So I videoed myself bidding on it. The video isn't great. It's a kind of an iPhone video of me actually on my computer screen, because I was kind of supposed to be working at the time. So let's just have a look and see how that went. So this is the bike that was up for sale before the Honda. It's a Yamaha XSR 700 2015, plate on a category N. Ends up selling for £2,100 to a British buyer, or a buyer at least registered in the UK. You can see that by the little Union Jack. So the time is running out now. It's just had its last bid on it, and it will go into bonus time. They all go into bonus time generally at the end to allow any other bidders to come in. And this one eventually gets actually sold rather than sold on approval, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. So very quickly it will come up with the Honda, and it's already been bid up to $34.50 by a buyer from Poland, and then gets bid up to $34,500 by a British registered buyer, before I bid it up to $35.50 as my first bid, and that's why the circle went green there. I've just been outbid at $36,600. And I'm waiting for the time to go down a bit, so I've just bid it up to $36.50, and I'm winning again. Waiting for the clock to run down, hoping that nobody else bids anymore, and it goes into bonus time, and unfortunately we see another bid here at $3,700 last second. I thought I had it then, but I didn't, and so I let the timer run around a little bit before I bid $37.50, winning bid at the moment. So I thought, as we'd already had bonus time, they wouldn't give another bonus time, but they gave another bonus time. And so it was a case of wait and see if there's any more bids, and luckily there was not. And unfortunately, though, it was sold on approval. So what does sold on approval mean? So sold on approval basically means that it hasn't met the value that the seller, be that an insurance company or an individual, wanted to actually achieve for the bike. So what they do basically is you can go on the system online, and you can basically get into negotiations with the seller. And what happened with this purchase was that the insurance company wanted £4,000 for the bike. I didn't want to pay £4,000 for it. I thought $3,750 was fair, but I thought I'd give a little bit more just to kind of show willing. So I put in $3,800, and that is what won me the bike. So it was £3,800 was the kind of sale price, plus all the fees and the delivery costs and all that kind of stuff. So it felt like forever for them to deliver the bike, but it only really was about 10 or 12 days. I wasn't allowed to go and collect it because of coronavirus, so it had to be delivered, and I had to pay for delivery. Turned up on this loader here, and there's just a bit of video of the guy unloading. That's all we're going to do on today's video. On the next video, you'll see me going around the bike and showing you all the damage, and then we'll have more videos on fixing all that damage. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and a thumbs up, and thanks for watching Bino's Garage.